So I thought in today's video, I would talk a little bit about all the food that I ate in Tucson. So Tucson is actually a UNESCO city of gastronomy. So they're known for really good food, and they were actually the first city to be designated that. So I only had 3 days there, really 2.5, because half day was spent traveling and arriving via plane. But I tried to squeeze in as much food as I could because I love to eat. I love to try different things when I visit places. And I try not to eat too many chain places whenever I travel. Sometimes that's unavoidable. And I did go to In-N-Out one meal because I forgot my mask. And most restaurants, when I traveled in May of 2021, we're still asking that you wear a mask. It was the end of the pandemic, so I try to respect that. And I didn't want to go in someplace without a mask if they asked me to wear one. So I just went through the In-N-Out drive-through one evening, and usually only get that every few years when I go to the West Coast. I live in Indiana, so we do not have an In-N-Out. We do have a new Shake Shack and a couple other Shake Shack locations popping up, but I feel like In-N-Out is better than Shake Shack, but I'm kind of going off topic here. Anyway, when I travel someplace new, I definitely try to stick with more local cuisines if I can and try out things that the area is known for. So my very first meal on my first day in Tucson was the Sonoran Style Hot Dog. And I do quite a bit of research before I go someplace, and I'm a Yelp Elite member, so I rely a lot on Yelp reviews and other bloggers that I just like to read, and they help me figure out what places I should check out as far as food goes. But I stopped at El Guerro Canelo, and this restaurant started off as a food stand, and it was just hot dogs. And according to their website, they started in 1993. They now have 3 restaurants plus a meat market in Tucson, and also a tortilla factory. I'm not sure where that is, but it's not in Tucson. But there's apparently some competing hot dog places in Tucson for the Sonoran Style Hot Dog. I guess it's like the burger war. It's a hot dog war, but this was definitely the most famous and most recommended to me. So I decided to stop in and try one of their Sonoran Style hot dogs. I typically do not eat much on a hot dog besides ketchup. I know a lot of people don't like that, but I think ketchup tastes good on a hot dog. But I pretty much went with the style of the hot dog because I felt like if I take too much off of this, it won't really be authentic. I didn't have them put onions or mayo on there because those are 2 things I just really can't stand. But you'll see in the video and the picture that I'm about to segue into, it has beans on it, like a pinto style bean, a jalapeno sauce, which was really good. It was kind of more of a salsa type sauce, and I really liked the flavor that I brought to the hot dog. And also chopped tomatoes and mustard, which I don't typically like mustard too much either, but you really couldn't taste it, and it was very light, so it wasn't a heavy mustard. And then they wrap the hot dog in bacon, so that is the authentic Sonoran Style hot dog. And I'm just gonna segue into a little video of El Guerro Canelo. They still have a hot dog stand outside their restaurant, but I went in and ordered at the window, picked it up, and then I ate it outside. It looked like they had plenty of room in there for people to sit down and eat. I just kind of wanted to be out in the nice warm sunshine of Tucson, and I will let you see what I had, and then I will be back with my thoughts on the hot dog. All right, so here are my honest thoughts. I always give my honest thoughts on everything, and I will not recommend you go someplace just because it's trendy, but I thought the hot dog was good. I really like the beans on it and also the jalapeno sauce because that gave it a nice little bit of heat and just a different flavor profile than I'm used to with just a hot dog and ketchup. I kind of like to try the other places in town to compare. So if I ever get back, I'll stop at a different one. I would say that you need to eat this. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. It's not the best food I've ever had, but it was really pretty good. And since it's so unique, I definitely think that it's something that you need to try when you go to the area. Um, I didn't like the bacon on it. I like my bacon crispy, and this felt like it was just maybe cooked with the hot dog. It was done, but it was that limp type of bacon that you get sometimes, and I don't like that style of bacon. I want mine extra crispy, almost burnt. So for me, if the bacon had been cooked and kind of crumbled and put on the hot dog, it would have been better. But I know that's not how they make it. That's not the style. So overall, I definitely would say you need to have one of these hot dogs. If you go, check out some of the other places that are the competitors, and then let me know in the comments which one that you thought was better. And so it was a pretty good first meal. And then I'm going to talk to you about the Korean Rose, which is where I went after El Guerro Canelo. So the Korean Rose has 2 locations. There's one in San Diego and there's one in Tucson. And the one in San Diego actually has food with it. So it's more like a Korean style barbecue place, I think. They have dumplings and pork belly fries at the one in San Diego. At the one in Tucson, they're mostly bubble teas, espresso, fruity drinks, plus some pastry type things that you can pick up to snack on. This was one place that I found through a local Tucson blogger, and I just saw her posting about it on her Instagram, and I really like bubble tea. I hadn't had it until this year, and it's kind of become my new thing. I know it's trendy, but it does taste really good, and I like the way the boba kind of pops in your mouth whenever you drink it, and it's just kind of a fun thing that you can get. I didn't go with the traditional milk tea this time. I got the Euphoria, and it has a like a Korean K-pop theme to it. It's got I'm looking up their menu here, strawberry citrus refresher, and then I added in some yogurt boba, and it made it really sweet, and it was a nice treat for a hot afternoon. The entire time I was in Tucson, it was 100 degrees, maybe a little hotter some days, but this place was only doing to-go orders. Like I said, I visited May of 2021 during kind of the hopefully end of the pandemic. Can't see into the future, but it's definitely a trendy spot, and there's a Korean barbecue place attached to it. So if I ever go back, I'd like to try to eat there. I just had some other places in mind to eat, and I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. It's a great drink. It's pretty simple. They have a lot to choose from. I think somebody, even that's very picky, could find something here. If you don't like the milk-based teas, they have non-milk-based options. So definitely check it out. And if you're in San Diego, I'd love to know what yours is like. Might be going there later this year. So if so, I will definitely pop in their location and try some of that good food. All right, now I'm going to tell you about one of the best places that I ate at in Tucson. And it's not Mexican food. While they are known for their traditional Mexican Sonoran style dishes, I found a pretty amazing Thai place in downtown Tucson. It's called Sunnay Thai. I hope I pronounced that right. And it's been there for several years, and it's an award-winning restaurant. And when I was doing some research into the best places to eat in Tucson, this one kept coming up over and over. And I thought, I eat Thai food all the time at home. I like to try something different when I go on vacation, but it just had so many good reviews that I thought I can't not eat at this place. So I ate there the evening of my first day in Tucson, and it's a very small spot, so they were actually taking reservations due to the pandemic, but luckily they had some outdoor seating, so they were able to seat me out there, and I'm so grateful that they allow me to eat there without having a reservation. And I got the drunken noodles, which is what you saw in the photo right before this little clip. And I'd never had drunken noodles before. I usually get curry or pad see ew or basil fried rice. And I thought I really like noodle dishes, and they had green beans in them, which I really like green beans in any kind of Chinese or Thai food. So if the flavors were just really exquisite. I got beef with it, but I think it would be really good with chicken too. And it just had like this smoky flavor, and the sauce was light but not too overpowering. And I ate the whole thing, and I probably could have eaten more. And I will have to give them a special shout out because the chef actually came out and talked to me just to make sure everything went okay. She was training cooks, new servers, and my server was there. That was his very first night, and I definitely couldn't tell. So she kind of apologized for that. But they did such a great job that you should definitely eat there if you like Thai food and are visiting Tucson. So I give this one 4 out of 5. It has to really knock my socks off to get a 5-star. So this is a very good rating for me. Wasn't quite as good as my favorite place here in Greenwood, Indiana, but it was definitely a great restaurant experience. I loved sitting outside. It's just right downtown Tucson, so you're in walking distance of like Hotel Congress. There's shopping. There's a lot of murals that you can check out. It's just kind of a great location, and apparently it used to be a 5 and dime store that they remodeled into this cute little boutique restaurant. So definitely give them a check out if you're ever in Tucson. All right, so now it's time to talk about my very favorite place that I ate at while in Tucson, and that would be Chara. All right, so hands down the best place I ate at in Tucson. 5 stars all around. No questions asked. You must eat at El Charro. It is the oldest Mexican restaurant in the United States and the state of Arizona to be owned by the same family. And they're actually going to be celebrating their 100th anniversary next year, so I imagine they'll have some fun specials and all that going on. But this was so good. The flavors were delicious. I got the tamales, which is what you saw in the photo for this clip. I got a chicken and green chili tamale, and also a beef tamale with red sauce. I've never had tamales before, and I don't know how I missed them, but I got some for lunch here in Indiana. They just weren't as good. So I was just on El Charro's website, and they have a Tamale of the Month club, and apparently they can actually ship them to you. So I may have to order some and see if they're just as good as they are in the restaurant. But you can do combinations. So there's all these different flavors that you can choose from. I chose those two because they sounded the best to me. And you can do like 2 or 3. And then it came with refried beans and rice, and then they also brought chips and salsa to the table for snacking beforehand. I will say I've had better salsa. It was good salsa, but there is a restaurant in Evansville, Indiana called Los Bravos, and they have the best salsa I've ever had in my life, and nothing ever compares to that. So I compare every salsa that I eat to that restaurant, and it just never lives up. I don't know what they do to it there, but it's just different than anywhere else. But El Charro had good salsa too. I'm not knocking them for that. They're just not as good as my favorite place for their salsa, but absolutely delicious. Must eat at this place if you're ever in Tucson, or hey, just take a trip and eat food in Tucson, because after all, it is a city of gastronomy. So can't say enough good things about this place. The waiter was absolutely fantastic, so nice, and I'm pretty sure he was one of the owners because he just kind of had that vibe about him. So loved it. Should have eaten there again before I left, but I didn't. I had a couple other meals I didn't like as much. So yeah, so definitely must eat at El Charo. All right, and since this is getting a little bit long, I'm just going to quickly run through the couple things that I have left to talk about. Hub Ice Cream downtown, just down the street from Hotel Congress. It was good. I've had better ice cream as well, but it was definitely refreshing on a really hot 100-degree day. Got it in a waffle cone, and that was really tasty. And they also had little pup cups, so if you have a dog with you, they'll have a little treat for your puppy. Boca Tacos was kind of a letdown. That one was highly recommended to me, and I just didn't think it really connected with what I expected. They have a salsa flight, which was, I think, probably the best part of the meal. They had 6 different types of salsa. I really like the black bean and corn, as well as the tomatillo. The Roja salsa, it kind of, I don't know, sometimes I don't like that. It tastes like barbecue sauce to me on chips, and I don't know, it just wasn't connecting for me. They had a mango one, I think it had a habanero in it. That was pretty good. It was sweet and spicy, not too overpowering. So I definitely think their chips and salsa was really good. The tacos just, I don't know, they were very average. And I think their chef is on a reality TV show, and maybe, I don't know if it's aired yet, but she might have won, but I don't know. There was something lacking. You can get better tacos other places. So for me, if I had to do it over, I wouldn't eat there again. I gave it 3 stars just because it was okay. It wasn't phenomenal, but it wasn't bad. But it's probably not some place that I would recommend that you eat if you go to Tucson. And then finally, my last meal of the trip was Minadito. That was recommended to me by a librarian friend on Instagram. It's very popular, and it was 2 miles from my hotel, so perfect. Apparently, you need to get there really early to get in. There was a line pretty far out the door. However, since I was a party of 1, they sat me in a little corner somewhere, so I got right in. It was kind of dark inside, and I took some pictures of the food, which they aren't very good because of the lighting. But I had a chimichanga with chili Colorado filling, and I liked it. I would recommend that you eat there, but maybe get something different. I will say that the chimichanga tortilla shell was one of the best that I've had. Like the way they fried it, it was really crunchy and flaky. And I don't normally get that with the Mexican restaurants I eat at here. I mean, you cut into it and it's crunchy, but it doesn't have like a flaky texture like this one did. So I'm not sure what they did different, but that was definitely really good. They had really good salsa. It had some heat to it. And I also got a strawberry margarita. I had to think it was daiquiri margarita. It was margarita. And it was really good too. So they do have security out front, but I asked him, like, well, why are you guys out here? Is this neighborhood kind of rough? And he just said they're there because they had some people get their cars broken into for a while. So they're just kind of as like an extra measure to make sure that doesn't happen to people while they're eating. So I appreciated that since I had a rental. and I'm sure if you live there, you would appreciate that too. So overall, some really excellent meals in Tucson. There was a long list of places I did not get to, so if I ever go back, I will film another video, and hopefully this wasn't too long for you to watch. I know I try to keep things shorter, but when you talk about food, people like to know, the atmosphere, what things tasted like, and it's hard to do that in a quick 5-minute video. So if you stuck with me this far, thank you. Thank you for watching. All my Tucson videos are in a playlist here on my YouTube. I'm going to be heading a few other places this year, so I will try to bring my camera along with me, and thanks for following along on my journeys as I get started here on my YouTube channel. So have a great day, everybody, and I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching my video, and I hope that if you enjoyed what you saw, that you will subscribe to my channel.